What's good? What is going on, family? We are here. We are live. Georgia, Carolina, Georgia. Carolina spelled like both states. But yes, I am here because I am doing things. We are here. We're here to react. We are here to talk. Listen, Jen Shah done got 6.5 years. Rinna is finally out. I am deciding to do this more often. So let's just get into the shit, shall we? Okay. So first things first, I am going to be doing this. I'm going to shoot to try to do this once a day, like Monday through Friday, because this is a video element podcast or video element to my podcast, Real Reality Realness, that I want to incorporate, where on the podcast, I do interviews with reality stars, content creators, creatives, recording artists, etc. And I talk to them about their life stories and their journeys to their platforms and how they're connected to reality TV, pop culture, music, etc. Right? So on this extension of that chaos and charcuterie, I want to just kind of jump on live and have it just be me speaking to you guys, my opinions on what's going on in the news, what's going on in the headlines, what's going on in pop culture, reality TV, music, all the things of the things, and just kind of give you my opinion. Because on the podcast itself, I kind of really leave that as an avenue for the people to just kind of talk, right? And I let that be a platform and a venue for them to open up and kind of tell me their life story and tell us their life story. So it's more so about them than it is about me speaking, right? Here, I kind of want it to be more so about you guys talking directly to me and me talking directly to you guys. So I'm gonna try to do this 5 days a week to go along with the new episodes of the podcast. I didn't put up an episode today specifically because I wanted to focus it on this today, and I wanted to kind of make this as an announcement. So hopefully you guys, if you don't listen to the podcast immediately, you can watch this first and then go back and listen to the episode, because one really will have nothing to do with the other. I'll be mentioning who I have on the podcast that day. I'll be promoting who's on the show that day, but then this podcast will be all about what's going on in the headlines, what's going on the reality shows, what's going on with me, what's going on with you guys, and, just whatever. So with that being said, make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast, Real Reality Realness, everywhere you can get podcasts: Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart, Audible, Amazon, Stitcher, etc. All the things of the things, right? Make sure you guys are here. Hey, JoJo, what's going on, baby? Hey, Heather. Hey, Kimberly. What's going on, Gabrielle? Hi, everybody. What's going on? And so, yeah, it's going to be a fun little kiki session to kind of coincide with the podcast. And I thought it'd be something fun to do to start the year off so that you guys can kind of get to know me better in this space, and just have some fun, chit chat, talk, all the things of the things. What's up, shoulda, coulda, woulda? Shoulda, woulda, coulda. There you go. Sorry. It's usually seen backwards, or I usually register it backwards, but whatever. So yeah, with that being said, we're going to be doing this 5 days a week, shooting for it. I'm going to try to do it around my interviews. Hey, from Scotland, what's up? So happy to see you. Thank you so much for being here. So yeah, I'm here just to jump on. I want to talk about Rinna being gone. I want to talk about Jen Shah getting 6.5 years. Where do y'all want to start? Do y'all want to start with Jen? Do you want to start with Rinna? Let me know in the comments. Drop me a comment and let me know, do you want to start with Rinna? Do you want to start with Jen? And then once we get through those, because I have things that I want to say about both of those subjects specifically, and then we can get to some more headlines that I have in my notes and just kind of see what y'all are talking about as well. Somebody saying, Jen, do what's best for you. Oh, thank you so much, Heather. I appreciate you so much. I'm just trying to really make the most of the platform that I'm having. Yes, the sentencing is in. She got 78 months, aka 6.5 years, which was around what I was projecting. Um, but we'll get to it. But yes, Jen got 6.5 years. We'll start with Jen. Jen got 6.5 years. So yes, I just logged into Instagram. She got 6.5 years, 78 months. Let me open it up. And it's literally the first thing I saw when I opened in Instagram. 6.5 years. Boom. Shout out to, who is this? The Real Housemates of New York. 6.5 years. That's the first one I see now, but that wasn't the first one I saw. I can't remember who the first post I saw was. I have to find it because the meme was hilarious. But yeah, it's all over the timeline. 78 months, 78 months, 6.5 years. Good for her. I'm not surprised at all. When the defense asked for 3 years, I knew she was going to get at least three, right? Did I think that there was a possibility that she could have some sort of leniency because she pled guilty? Yes. So I thought maybe she might get under three, but I felt like the defense asking for three meant that she was going to get at least three, right? So I was projecting she was going to she was going to get maybe six, do three, 3.5, and get out, right? They do 85% of the time. I don't know those exact numbers. I don't want to lie to you. I can't remember how much of it they have to do. I try not to fool la la with the court system, so I try not to know the particulars unless I just absolutely have to. But Bethany Nicole Lowe, when does she have to go into jail? I don't know specifically. I think part of the reason why she asked for her sentencing to be scheduled after the holidays was because she was probably going to have to be she was probably in a situation where she could turn herself in, and she didn't have to go directly into jail from court. That's what I'm thinking. I don't necessarily know. All of this is going to unfold throughout the day, and I'm going to be tapping into my other phone to look at this while I'm on live with you guys as well. But as far as I know, or my thought process was that she was going to she pushed it back so that she could have the holidays at home, and then once she got her sentence, she was going to have to turn herself in at a later date so that she would have more time with her family to get them ready for the sentencing, right? That's my thought process. Is that what's happening? I'm not exactly sure yet. Keep me posted in the comments if you guys see anything. So I think that was a smart plan to do. Is it Criminal Minds? Absolutely. Free plug to the show. But I do think that was an intentional thing. You know what I mean? I think it was her just pushing for as much time as she could get possible. And if the chance does happen that she does get cuffed in the courtroom today and she goes straight to jail, then at least she had the holidays with her children. Get what I mean? So we'll see how that go. I just let's get to the bullet points because I actually have notes and things that I want to talk about when it comes to Jen. What do y'all think of her time? Do y'all think that she got enough? Do y'all think she got too much? Do you think that the time is realistic? I personally think that the time is realistic. If the prosecution asks for 10 years, if the defense asks for 3, 6 seems somewhere in the middle, and it seems like an even balance, right? So I said on when I was recording Housewives History with Megan yesterday, which is out now, came out this morning. Shout out to Megan. Go follow Real Housewives Analyst. We were giving our predictions on how long we thought that she was going to get. I said that if there's any leniency, realistically, she could get 1 to 3. We're going to pray for 3 to 5 because that's what I think that she's realistically going to get. And we're going to reach for the stars like S Club 7 and pray that she gets 7 to 15. So we ended up somewhere in in the balance. We ended up somewhere in the middle of that. 6.5 years is closer to the reaching for the stars 7 to 10 or 7 to 15. So maybe S Club 7 needs to do a reunion concert just for Jen Shah going to prison. Hey Bradley. Hey Bradley. Follow City Boy London on Instagram. That's Bradley McIntosh's Instagram from S Club 7. Those of you who are old enough to know who S Club 7 is, reach for the follow button and follow him. He's still gorgeous. But I'm satisfied personally. I'm personally satisfied. Let's see what's going on in the comments. Not like it will go to the Chrisleys and she will go have a report date. Yeah, that's what I think too, Kimberly. I think that she is gonna get a sentencing today. She's gonna know how long she's gonna get, 6.5 years, and then she's gonna get a report date, and she's gonna report maybe in a month and a half or so. So she worked the system. She got as much time out as she could before she inevitably had to go to jail. And I think that was what the defense was preparing her for from the jump, was that she was eventually going to have to go to jail regardless. Get what I'm saying? So, all's well that ends well. I think that we got what we needed out of this. I think Jen got exactly what she deserves. No shade. Based on the legalities of the court system and what the basis or the general principles of what these due processes are, I ain't no lawyer. What do y'all think? Like, I think she got what she deserved, right? Is that what's going on here? Like, I just... How long did you all think she was going to get before we got 6.5 years? How long did you all think she was going to get? How long did you think she was going to get? Because I feel like I predicted this personally. You thought she was going to get 10 and make an example of her. I would love to have seen that happen. Sadly, we did not see that happen. But we did see, I do think that justice was fair in this situation. And no, she wasn't specifically targeted or racially profiled as a person of color. Jen, you can finally hang that up. Deborah Cartier says, I thought 10 years at least. JoJo thought 10 years. Kimberly thought 10. Y'all thought at least 10 years. Okay, Gabrielle says 6 or 7. Okay. And she does 5 or 4. We'll see. She got 6.5. How much time do y'all think she'll actually do out of this 6.5 years? How much time do you realistically think she's gonna spend in the clink? Because I don't understand how all of this works, so I would love to figure out exactly how all of this goes. 3 years. I think she'll do at least half. I hope she does 3/4. So out of 6.5 years, I hope she does at least 4.5. Jojo, I hope she get all of it. Did Stewart got 9 years? Somebody let me know, because shoulda, coulda, woulda is asking that, and I think you asked that before. My bad, I missed that comment. Stewart got 9 years. Did Stewart get 9 years? Somebody confirm that for me. Did Stewart get 9 years? What's going on with Stewart? Because I want to know the conditions of that. Why did he get 9 years? Was that just the conditions of his plea? Why did he get 9 and she got 6.5? Did the defense come out that he was actually the main ringleader of the organization, and like he was the one that was doing all of the shifting and the moving and the cavorting of the snitching and the doing and the stuff? And so because his hands were dirtier, he got more time, and she just happened to be the face of the company, and that's why she got 6 years? Because of the Kosovo money. Oh, is that Kosovo or Kosovo? Not exactly sure. Can somebody confirm to me if he got 9? Because I would love to see that. I'm seeing that from a couple of you guys. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. JoJo thinks he got 9 too. How much do you think that Stewart is gonna do total? And do you think there's gonna be a place for her on Housewives after this? Is there a place for Jennifer Shah on Housewives after she gets out of prison for pleading guilty? Do we welcome her back? Is there a scene where we see Omar and her son, her other son, whose name just slipped my mind? Is there a scene where we see them March 3rd? His sentencing is oh wow. Stewart's sentencing is March 3rd. Wow. Okay. If everybody forgets she hides her money and got it right. Is placed for slave. Okay, this is bad. Okay, so as I was saying, do we think that there's going to be a scene where Omar and the other son are going to, run to her when she gets off the prison bus and, all of this, blah, 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 blah. But see, the difference with Teresa is, the difference with Teresa is the circumstances in which they were involved. You know what I mean? With Teresa, she was basically an accomplice to her husband's knowingly wrongdoings, right? She signed some things, didn't really know what she signed allegedly, but the way that it worked out for her in the system was that she was more so of an accomplice and wasn't directly involved with the misappropriation of whatever was going on with Joe's overall case, right? She was just one person that was involved because her signature was on documents. Whereas Jennifer Shah was the figurehead of the situation and she was the leader of the company. She was the face of the company. She was the, top dog. So all of the arrows led to her, whereas with Teresa, all the arrows led to Joe and her because she was attached to him. But if she wasn't attached to him, there wouldn't have been any arrows that led to her, right? So I see where, there was grace afforded to Teresa to come back on Real Housewives because there was an easy pass there for her because it was like, okay, her husband did it. She just ended up involved because she was, a protective wife. She was a loving wife. She didn't really, do her due diligence, blah, 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 blah. We can give her a pass. Now, if she get another felony, okay. But with Jennifer, she led the entire public on, including the entire Bravo, including all of those people. She led all of those people on to think that she was completely innocent, or she even convinced people. Like, check what Andy said. Andy was like, listen, we not well, he didn't say that he believed her, but he did say that, when she has been pleading her innocence this entire time, when she's been, staunching on this innocence this entire time, it led him to believe, okay, maybe there's a possibility, let her have her day in court. And then for her to get all the way to what's basically the finish line and then plead guilty in the 11th hour, it's like, well, damn, it feels like a slap in the face. The slap in the face part aren't his words. That's just me, paraphrasing. But I'm just saying, yes, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Shout out to the real felons of the Beverly Hills, child. Shout out to the real felons of Bravo. I don't really know how this is going to shake out for Erica, to be perfectly honest. I don't know how this is going to shake out for Erica because I don't even know the consistency of her involvement. Like, did she receive money? It looks like it. What she's going to have to pay back? I don't know. I feel like, what are they trying to figure out with Erica at this point? Because I'm so checked out. I don't even know what Erica is in court for. Like, besides the fact that she's on appeal for legal reasons. You know what I mean? Like, you think she's going to get a book, Gabrielle? You think that Jennifer Shah is going to come out with a book deal? I think it's possible. I think that if, people keep up with her in prison like they did with Teresa, if the talk shows are wondering what she's eating in prison, and if she's fighting anybody, if she still has her manicure, if she's still, like what she's doing, how the family's doing, if they're checking on Coach Shaw, we'll see. We'll see if she gets treated like Teresa when she was in prison. We don't know. There's a possibility. Um, she has one more year on her contract. Is that so? So what, she has to do a year of the show when she comes out? Because I mean, I didn't think that they were signing people for multiple seasons like that anymore, especially not after Denise's ass. I did not think that they were going to be signing people for multiple seasons after she done bust up in the scene with the gangster lean, gave us one bitch one season, gave us a whole nother girl the second season, who was honestly nothing like the girl who was cast on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Because if you remember Denise, just on Watch What Happens Live, before she was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, y'all forgot, like, Denise was wild as all outside before she ever got on Beverly Hills. Just go back and look up on YouTube Denise's appearances on Watch What Happens Live and go see what I'm talking about. Because I don't know if I can say that on live. Nobody answered me yet yesterday when I was asking what I can and can't say on these platforms, because I just decided to go live. Like, I'm sort of impulsive like that. Like, I make decisions really impulsively, and then I plan them out in heavy detail, and then I just run with it. So we here. But let me know what I can and cannot say. I'm trying to, not curse on here like that, but I ain't gonna make no promises. Let me know what cuss words I can and can't say. As far as Erica goes, what is she in court for at this point? Y'all get me up to speed on Erica and why I need to be paying attention to her, because all I need to be knowing is what she's gonna be doing without Rinna at this point, which is gonna segue me into Rinna, because I want to have a conversation with y'all about, you know, I want to talk to the fans. No cursing, no accusations. Always do allegedly. Got it. Cool. So I want to talk to y'all, the fans, about Rinna. And I want to talk to y'all about being fans of the show and what that means and escapism. Because I have questions for y'all. I really do. I have some concerns. Because my spirit is very vexed when it comes to y'all. And I just want to go to the notes and just, read what I wrote verbatim. Well, maybe not verbatim, because I might have cursed in them. But we need to talk, because let's just go ahead, and I'll just go to the notes. I don't understand this whole thing about people thanking her for her service. I get it's jokes. I get it's, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not saying I'm woke, but I am socially aware. Like, I am an awareness enthusiast. So I do kind of believe on being conscious where it's necessary to be conscious. And I don't know how I feel about reusing jargon meant for veterans actually in service. I don't know how that, I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't know how I feel. I really don't know how I feel about that. I really don't know if I like that. And I don't think that's cool, to be perfectly honest. I genuinely do not think that's cool, because it's like there are people out here actually risking their lives. Like, I get it's supposed to be a joke and all of that, ha ha ha, but not every joke is funny. You get it? So I think that there does need to be a conversation about, like, where the line is of, like, doing all of those things. And it's crazy because I think the joke is, like, controversial, semi-problematic, and it's about a problematic ass person. And it's like, got it. And two, even in the post when y'all are saying thank you for your service, I wish they would have won before I even get to that. I wish they would have, if y'all were gonna do thank you for your service, I wish I would have flipped it with the Shawnee O'Neal and been like, thank you for your services. Thank you. That was legendary. Legendary, iconic. Basketball Wives does not get the credit that it deserves, because it's one of the first all women cast of color to be out here really fucking it up and turning it out and making noise out here. So Go back and look at some of those Basketball Wives credits. But two, what are y'all thanking her for? Because to my recollection of Rinna's tenure on the show, she's been attacking people below the belt for nearly every season she's been on the show, right? And I'm not the type of person to just, throw something like that out there without, having examples. Let's not talk about Kim Richards and the husband and, talk about her being close to death. Okay, let's not talk about Yolanda and questioning her Lyme disease to the point of saying that she has Munchausen. Um, and also questioning the condition and the wellness of her children as well. Just saying. What about Dorit and putting her and her husband's reputation on the line by insinuating that people were doing drugs in her home to Dorit's knowledge? Okay. Um, Denise, you brought your friend on the show and then turned on her. I can't really say that what she did was below the belt because I do believe that Denise slept with Brandy, but however, the way that you handled your friend was some of the most treacherous handling of somebody who you brought on the show under the premise of having a 20-year friendship with that I've ever seen in my life. I just don't think that's cool, right? Sutton, same thing. You brought this woman on the show talking about how rich she was, talking about how much money she has, talking about how she's so this, that, and the third, about how she friends with the Dose and the Gabanas and all of them folks and all of this, that, and the third. But the moment you had to turn on her, you did, and for no real reason. And then on top of that, in your attack of Sutton, you tried to pass off your behavior on the death of your mother. Like, I don't think like, to me, using grieving as an absolution of accountability for your behavior is an issue for me. Do I understand that someone grieving can affect their behavior patterns? Yes. But that does not take away from the level of accountability that you need to have when you out here ramsacking the shop because you grieving. Am I able to have a little more understanding for you because you're grieving? Yes. But in the situation, I also need you to be accountable because you out here turning up more than you usually are because you're grieving. I'm willing to be understanding if you're willing to meet me halfway with your 100% and let me know, hey, I'm out here doing the most because I'm grieving and I see that and I apologize for that. And I'm willing to be more understanding and give you that pass because you're doing more than I would usually be willing to accept. It's all about compromising, meeting halfway. Both of y'all got to do y'all work. Okay? Do your work, children, and grow up. That's all I'm saying. But Rinna has no capabilities of doing that. So, and now we're not even gonna, have her on the show to do it. Like, for another example, when she spent years utilizing her children's health mentally and physically, their relationships for storylines, and then to only have them claim that you didn't get them help in their times of need because of the strife and the stress and the backlash and all of the extra unwarranted attention that came from you utilizing their stories on a show that you are a cast member on. That's all I'm saying. Like, all of the other grievances that she's done to people that I can't think of. Like, that was my point, Deborah. That is my point. Like, I don't understand how you can sit here and I don't understand how you can sit here and say that the behavior that you're engaging on Sutton is somehow contributed to your mother's grief or to the grief of your mother when you spent seasons upon seasons upon seasons doing worse behavior. You weren't grieving your mother when you threw a glass at Kim for bringing up a rumor about your husband that allegedly doesn't exist. You weren't you weren't grieving your mother when you bragged about doing whatever you needed to do to make sure that the show was popping, and you bragging about being the villain. Like, you bragged about being the villain. You bragged about being an actress and making this show happen and turning up for TV. Renna been turning up for TV and she's been proud of it. She's been ready for her close up, Mr. DeMille. So I don't understand how now all of a sudden it's some sort of confusion about what's going on here. It's like, girl, like, okay, okay, girl, sure. Rest in peace to Lois, because that's the only person that matters here. That's the only person that I'm really caring about talking about here in this moment, because Lois did not raise you to be like that. Lois did not raise you to be that type of woman. Lois did not raise you to act like that, and I know damn a doggone well Lois would not want your behavior to be attributed to anything having to do with her. I know she would not want to be associated with your behavior in any type of context. You get what I mean? So now with that being said, that I will close that point by saying this. I'm not saying that Rinna didn't have good moments on camera, but for me, her tenure on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, her time on the show was more problematic than it was entertaining. Did she have good moments on the show? Absolutely. But were the majority of her moments rooted in problematic antics and intentions? Yes. I just think that we're all needing to be very clear about that. Like, I just gave you a list and I'm sure y'all can think of some more. So that further leads me into the questions that I want to ask the audience. I want to ask y'all. Let me know, because um I will Diana DeVille be coming back? No, I really don't. There have been no announcements made, but I truly don't believe that she'll be back. I truly don't believe. I truly don't believe. Exactly. Exactly. You utilizing cancer for you utilizing cancer to try to emphasize a dramatic point about something that you like, girl. It just leads me to the questions that I want to ask y'all as fans that are Renna stans or whoever. Like, I just want to know, like, why is it always so wrong for me to want my reality stars to have morals? Okay. Because I go off on tangents about how these women represent themselves on television and how they look on TV and all of this type of stuff. And I hear this a lot. I hear people say that I don't go to my reality stars to have morals. I don't watch reality television for moral compass. And I want to know, like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Because that always comes off to me as if you're like excusing perpetuating problematic behavior on national television. Like, because it's good TV, it's okay to be problematic. Like, that's what it feels like you're subconsciously saying as an undertone to, well, it's not like I'm looking for them to be, role models. I get that. I'm not expecting them to be beacons of, of societal health. But what I don't understand is why that's an issue that I have a problem with that, especially as somebody who was perpetually triggered by the mess that is just not only displayed on television, but praised as great TV. Why is me having an issue with problematic and triggering behavior displayed on national television without warning an issue? Because it takes away your escapism. Okay, cool. So let's talk about escapism. Like, what exactly do you want to escape from? What exactly do you want to escape from? Because if you're trying to escape from the realities of what's actually happening in America, and then you're simultaneously trying to excuse problematic behavior that is a representation of what is actually happening in America, then what are you actually escaping from? Because even if you're trying to ignore it by actually watching it on the reality shows, you're at the same time you're trying to suppress it on social media. So even if you're ignoring it on the show and slipping it under the carpet when you're watching it down to the Bravo, you're sitting here and you're on social media trying to dismiss it and arguing with people all day long, clicking and tacking and cussing and doing all of that, trying to stand up for your faves about the same problematic stuff that you're trying to ignore on the show. So what are you actually escaping? What happened to the day? Like what is wrong? Like what happened to Fun Shade? You know? Like what happened to that? And I think that the show that does Fun Shade the best for me is The Real Housewives of Potomac. However, the fact that the treatment of the women on that show is completely drowned, soaked, and double battered in colorism really makes the experience harder for me to watch, because we see something that is being manipulated by the network and by the editors and by the production company, right? What's being put on the show is not the women, right? The however, the way that the women navigate and interact within that perpetuates that as an issue. Giselle and Robin continuing to act like there is no colorism issue, to act like they don't give a damn what the fans have to say. Da 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 da. Da. I, as much as I appreciate that, let us know that you don't give a damn about what the fans have to say, so that the fans can see that you don't really care about us as people. Like you just here to get the coin that acting a fool for us on TV gets you. Cool. So now you can exploit yourselves, you can exploit your children, you can exploit your husband, you can exploit your coochies and do all of that for a coin. But now we can make an informed decision on if we want to have to watch or not. Do you get what I'm saying? Somebody had a comment about Real Housewives. I'm like, boom. Real Housewives of Miami is, I don't know what took so long to bring Miami back. I don't know what took so long to bring Miami back, but I'm glad them girls is back. Okay. And you know what I love about Miami? I It's the same thing that I love about Mob Wives. Mob Wives, those women were genuine friends before the show. Even if they met people on the show and became friends with people on the show, like it was a genuine friendship about loyalty. Those four women were it just those deep friendships. Same thing with New Jersey, how they were actual family members and have these deep rooted histories. Even with the girls in Potomac, to a certain degree, that was an actual friend group. These women are sisters in Miami. To sit here and in one episode see Larsa and Lisa arguing about mortgages and hot pockets and all that other stuff, and then in the next episode, damn doggone near, to see them rallying around her about this evil man. There was somebody on my show who said, and I'm gonna go look up and see who it was. They said that we are as close to world peace as we have ever been, and it's all because we hate Lenny. I'm gonna go look it up because that was the name of the episode. I'm gonna go see which episode of mine that was, because it is so crazy. I have not seen the Bravo fandom unite the way that it has over Lenny Hodge. I don't know. I ain't even gonna try. But it's crazy because things like Rinna being fired splits the fan base, right? Really splits the fan base. But then when it comes to things like Lenny, Everybody is on the same side. Cheating on Lisa is evil and wrong, and especially the way that he did it. Like, geez, Louise, like it's just, oh Lord, the devil is all in you. The devil is all in you. Which episode is that? Because I want to give the person credit for who said it. That's why I'm looking for it in the episode. Because if I bring it up, I want to actually say who said it. I want to actually say who said it. But while I'm looking for this, y'all talk to me about how long y'all think Lenny and this girl gonna last. The one that licked her lips at Lisa in the club, and what y'all would have done to her, because I don't necessarily know if I can say what I would have done to Lisa, to that girl, if she would have licked her lips at me in the club while she's out here fool-la-la and philandering with my husband, the father of my children, while she spends her weekend peddling through sperm banks and sifting through catalogs. Girl, let me not clock clock your references, children, if y'all know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I just that the audacity. Cassandra Steele from Binging Bravo. That's who it was. Cassandra from Binging Bravo said that. She said we are as close to world peace as we have ever been, and it's because we all hate Lenny. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. I appreciate that. But getting back to my questions about Rinna, because we're gonna get back, because y'all know I'll go all over the place. There was a comment about Potomac that I wanted to make before I go back. The Potomac, yes, yes, and it's so crazy that the sorry, JoJo said Potomac women seem really jealous of Wendy and Candace, and I agree with that. I agree with that because it seems like why, why? Why? What other reason do you have to engage in this colorist behavior besides either you're jealous of these women's, or you're genuinely colorist? Like, what is it? Because these women ain't did nothing to you. Y'all was all on Candace's side when Monique whipped her ass because you wanted Monique off of the show. But then all of a sudden, when it was flipped, and they was tossing salad back and forth, oh, y'all flipped on Candace again, and it was screw Candace again. So it's like, why is it that when it comes to people like Giselle and Karen, who just happens to be a fellow light-skinned blonde-haired woman, I'm just pointing that out, follow me here. Why is it when it comes to people like Karen, you can sit here and have this respect and this frenemy banter with her, and y'all can go back and forth and throw fun shade and do all of that when it comes to Kern, but when it comes to anybody who is, let's say, a failure of the paper bag test, maybe, now all of a sudden your approach to them and their storyline is pure hatred. It's pure hatred, on top of the fact that these women also have healthy marriages. You're jealous of the fact that these women are, the way that it reads, it gives that you're jealous of these women because they have healthy marriages. They can actually read, because Candace and Wendy have both read the absolute folds off of Giselle's neck. They have read the water from her ankles. They have read the tension from her wigs. Okay? Period. All of them. Down to the house down boots. Mia and her big ass feet. And this is somebody with big ass feet. So don't try to say I'm body shaming. Like, girl, bye. Like, girl, we don't do body shaming here. She owned having big ass feet. So why is now Candace talking about the fact that she has big ass feet body shaming? Let's talk about that for a second. Why is it that when the girls can sit here and try to own their big ass foreheads and their big faces and their big feet, when Candace reads them about it, it's okay. But then when she talks about it later, it's body shaming. So because them owning it didn't shut down the read. Now all of a sudden it's now body shaming. Am I the only one that is seeing this? Like, am I crazy? Like, y'all let me know if I'm cuckoo here. I just want to know. Because to me it reads very sus. It reads very specific and it reads very particular. But back to the jealousy. These women have healthy marriages. These women are booming in their businesses, 4 degrees, political commentator, only black female contributor to professor at Johns Hopkins. And even though Bravo was messy as hell with that, Johns Hopkins ain't got nothing to do with this. Di- Disclaimer, which, by the way, do you think that that was just Bravo trying to cover their tracks to keep from Johns Hopkins sending a cease and desist? Or do you think that that was Johns Hopkins sent them a cease and desist and they just slipped that in real quick? What do y'all think that was? What y'all talking about in the comments? Hold on. What's tea? What's going on here? Child, yes. Giselle done drag these people for taxes. I mean, child. But it's just a mess. She wanted this man to live and pay his bills and all of that stuff and da 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 da. But like, y'all can have friendly banter. But Candace read you, and all of a sudden she's like, she can get popped and it's okay. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It genuinely does not make sense. I don't understand. And the problem is, the reason why colorism continues to come into this conversation is because I could place all of those things into a separate box and take race out of it, right? I could place the fact that these women have healthy marriages, they're booming in their careers. Candace just released the deluxe version of Deep Space, which is an incredible album. She had a great tour with City Winery. She went to the Soul Train Awards. She got a song with Trina. Like, she out here, she in these streets, right? I can take all of that and place it separately and independent of colorism. However, the fact of the matter is that these women are held to different standards, and the only difference between these women is the proximity of these women's complexions to whiteness. The same behavior that Ashley is called messy, shady, funny, great TV for, Candace gets called to be fired for every season. Wendy gets called aggressive for. The sheer hypocrisy with the entire drink throwing situation with Wendy and Mia proves that entire point. And it was acknowledged in real time. How is it that you can sit here and be so starchly against violence one season, but then be for it the next season, to the point of encouraging someone to either fight or shut up? Where was Robin holding her phone when Candace was getting her ass whipped down to the barn? Why was she not holding her phone up then? Why did she not want to clarify that with production then? That's interesting to me. Why is it all of a sudden you're so worried about Wendy and her job, yet you're not trying to escort Wendy from the situation? You're so worried about Wendy and her job, yet you did not want to protect Wendy in that moment. You and your green-eyed heifer went on with Mia to check on Mia. Y'all sat there at that table and defended Mia throwing alcohol in a woman's face, which is assault. Just saying, it is assault. Pass me the pepper. Anyway, that is aggressive. Yes, that is aggressive. Robin has always been aggressive. Like, how is it Like no, like, but nobody said anything when she ran down in Ashley's face down to the Caribou restaurant because those were two light skinned women. Nobody's gonna say nothing about two light skinned women out here tussling, right? That's all fine and dandy. But now all of a sudden, because Candace is rat tat 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 tat, she's aggressive. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Because Robin, you like in that by itself, you sitting here trying to make sense of sheer hypocrisy makes no sense. Like what is it about? Nobody is trying to hold you to being the police on physical violence. You're just the one that made yourselves look like you're willing to be a hypocrite depending on who's involved in the physical violence. Y'all set yourselves up for that. Y'all set yourselves up for that. But even so, on top of that, the fact that you have the unmitigated gall to sit up on Lynn Whitfield's good internet and on Regina King's good television screen and invite a woman, let alone a Black woman's children, anywhere and say that their mother is not invited, who the entire hell do you think you are? I don't like y'all trying to say, oh, Robin is activated. If this is what you call being activated, Robin, you need to change your batteries. You need to change your batteries. Because I don't understand how this is activation. Nothing you've activated makes any sense. But I guess you're being consistent because you ain't activated your ass down the aisle either. You ain't activated no wedding either. Now you want to have a private ceremony in Jamaica after you've made your marriage to Juan an entire storyline for public spectacle for seasons at a time. Now all of a sudden you want to be privacy down to the Jamaicans. No, ma'am. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And it's not even about me being on a team. It's not even about me being team Candace, team Wendy. I am. I'll be very clear about that. Because Karen will always refuse to draw a line, even when it's blatantly drawn in the sand. I will draw that line. I am Team Candace and Wendy, but this isn't about being Team Candace and Wendy. Because if this was anybody else, I would feel the exact same way. You could interject any person into these storylines, and if the situations were the same, I would have the exact same analysis of the situation. The problem is that there is no accountability held to Saggy Neck and Juan's roommate. There is no accountability. And speaking of, I just this is one thing I'm always gonna try to figure out. Is Giselle wearing Go Naked hair now? Because I saw a couple posts on Instagram where she tagged Go Naked, and I thought that Portia was doing her wigs now. Portia was doing her sew-ins now. Portia was doing her bundles. I was like, oh, okay, she might, we might get a piece. We might get a piece. Okay. And we have had a couple moments with Giselle having good hair. The only one that I can recall is when she was on Watch What Happens Live, when she had the black dress on with the gold buckle and she had the side part and it was blown. That was so good. She looked so good. That was the best she's ever looked, ever in life. Ever in life. The best she's ever looked. But it's not consistent, right? Listen, not the horse stable she calls a home. Girl, I thought it was horsehair from the stables she calls a home. You know what? Motel Giselle does give stable vibes. It does give stable vibes. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that's about, but it does kind of give stable vibes. It don't give hotel. It does give CD motel vibes. Stop me when I'm wrong. Stop me when you disagree. I'm just saying. Heather, listen, Listen, do what my grandma does. My grandma taught me this when I was real young. She said that to keep your neck from getting saggy, you do this. You stretch your neck meat every day. You stretch your neck meat and you stretch that neck meat all out. You stretch it, so, and you keep it tight and you keep it right. You know, if you don't use something, you lose it. Use your throat. Anyway, all I'm saying is it ain't nothing wrong with having a saggy neck, because if Monique didn't point it out first, and if Candace didn't make it go viral this season, I probably wouldn't even notice that Giselle had a saggy neck. It's not even something I would notice. Like, I didn't notice that Giselle had a saggy neck and swollen ankles until Monique said something about it in Binder Time Chronicles. I keep bringing that up because I wish that the people who hate on Candace for Monique as a team Moniquer would let that go, because the same read that Candace went viral for at the beginning of the season, not today neck, not today Satan, not today ankles, Monique said that first. So if you're going to hate the girl for Monique, then at least give Monique credit for her recycling the girl's read. Just saying. Get a girl her bone, get a girl her teeth. You know what I mean? Listen, when my grandmother said that, she was at least in her 50s. She might have been in her 60s. I don't know. But she didn't have but my grandmother didn't have a saggy neck. Do with that what you will. I don't know if it works. I don't know if it works. But my grandmother didn't have a saggy neck. Now, I don't know how long she's been doing the Now, I don't know if you have to make the noise. That's just me trying to emphasize the pulling of the muscle here. Yeah, that. But I don't know if you actually have to make the noise, if that counts, if that was a part of it. That I can't recall that being part of the instructions. But I don't know how long she did it to keep from having a saggy neck in her 50s, late 50s, early 60s. But the girls on the OC, they be getting them lower neck lifts all the time. They be getting them lower facelifts, so they can just pull it up here and keep this natural with like Botox, and so they don't have to get a full yank, so that they don't have to remove their hairline. You do you get what I mean? It's it's what the girls call preventative now, right? They'll do the lower neck lift and then they'll do Botox up here, so that they'll try to freeze this as long as it can. And then once this starts hitting here, then all of a sudden they just go ahead and do for the full right? I don't I'm not advocating for anybody to get surgery. I'm just saying that that's what the girls be out here doing. I'm not the one to read, honey, but the girls say call Dr. DeBro, I guess. Okay. But y'all, that is my time today. They just gave me the 2-minute warning. I actually kind of like that Instagram gives me 2-minute warnings. It kind of gives me like a certified time to wrap up. It gives me a hard out. It gives me time to like really just be like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is when it's going to be over. And period, point blank, cool. That's what we're going with it. Right. I like that. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about saggy necks. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions for swollen ankles. Thank you, Heather. Recycle the read and doing my neck movements. 2023 resolutions. We trying to step up. Nobody wants a saggy neck. I'm starting to worry about my neck. Like, nobody wants to be worried about their neck. Nobody wants to be worried about their ankles. Like, nobody wants to be giving Wendy Williams lymphedema teas. Nobody wants to be laid up with caviar and Doritos with a machine sucking the water out your legs. No shade. Like, nobody wants to be going through all of that. So figure it out now. Watch your sodium intake. Pray to God or whoever. Pray to somebody. I'm a studying Buddhist, so whatever. But I'm also Black and from the South, so I will throw Jesus Christ in there when it comes to proving a point. Anyway, I'll be back on Monday. I may go live tomorrow. I don't know yet, but I do want to do this Monday through Friday as a component to Real Reality Realness. Subscribe to the podcast where I do interviews 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, with reality stars, content creators, recording artists, etc. Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart, Stitcher, Amazon, Audible, anywhere you can get podcasts. I'll be right here Monday through Friday, but I may go live on weekends. We'll see. Let me know. Love you. Bye.